Live from Williams Gymnasium in Anacortes, Washington, it's Seahawk basketball.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Williams Gymnasium here. Trying not to get spoken over by the starting lineups here. We'll go ahead and let you listen in, but just to let you know, Anacortes Seahawk basketball ready to get underway. Meridian, the visiting team here tonight. It is senior night, and we're ready to go. We'll leave it to the announcer.
For the Seahawks, the 6-foot guard, he's a senior, number 22, Michael. For the Trojans, the 6'4" senior, number 42, Ethan Brooks. And for the Seahawks, a 5'10" in training, he's a senior, number 24, Adrian Garcia. And for Meridian, Shane Stacy, assisted by Taylor Ingalls, Rob Gray, and Tanner Tudor. Seahawks are led by Brett Semp, assisted by Ryan Shuley, AJ Yost, and Eli Moore. The team managers are Elijah Semp and Allison Weber, and the team trainer is Haley Stout. The referees for tonight's game are Brian Lindgren, Eric Stoffers, and Jared Fleury. Now would you please rise for the playing of our national anthem. Thank you.
Flags finished and lineups finished. We are ready.
Bringing you
And
here
now, let's get ready and play
Williams
some
Gymnasium
Seahawks
for
basketball.
some Seahawk basketball on a beautiful Tuesday night here in Anacortes, Washington. Not that the outside environment matters. Of course, we are indoors. But nevertheless, we'll keep on moving here, getting ready for the opening tip. 5 seniors out on the court for the Seahawks, and we're off and going. Freddie.
All right, so it looks like Meridian is swinging the ball around, trying to get the play open, but Anacortes defense is looking pretty solid. Picking it out. Shot up, and it's good. Number 42.
Meridian coming right out of the gate, hitting the 3. That's a big statement for the opposing team to knock that down in the faces of the Seahawks after some pretty solid defense in that opening possession, but we'll see if Anacortes can respond.
Trey Wilbur shot goes up. No offensive rebound. Half-court press by Anacortes following Meridian's half-court press. Like this will be a dead ball. Going to Anacortes.
Wilbur will go ahead and inbound this.
Seahawks taking time, looking for a high post shot. Wilbur goes up. Foul is drawn.
Meridian's foul, number 5. Owen Hughes, first personal foul, first team foul. Wilbur's at the line, shooting 2.
Trayton will be here trying to get the Seahawks on the board early. can't get the first one to fall. And he will go ahead and hit the second one to go 1 for 2 at the line.
That'll be a full court press by Anacortes, which gives them possession of the ball. Excellent footwork by the team. Alec Miller to inbound. Looking for Trayton Wilbur at the high post. The shot goes up, no good, but an offensive rebound is drawn. There's Gage Biro with the shot.
And just like that, we're all tied up, folks. Meridian hasn't had a lot of offensive opportunities since the beginning, as we see a travel here on the Trojans. So once again, possession going to Anacortes. We'll see if they can't now take the lead after a very interesting first couple minutes.
This is the third possession by Anacortes. Shot goes up, no good. Here's the Trojans coming down the court. Foul is drawn by Trayton Wilbur.
Now I'm here to tell you that's a good hustle from Wilbur to start the game off, and he's making his presence known, telling Hunter Jones there, who's the Trojan who got fouled, if you're going to get a shot down, it's going to be at the line. We've got to force you to take harder shots, and right now Jones is responding well. He knocks down the first one.
Excellent analysis there as Jones is shooting the second. Shot up and good. 2 for 2 from the line. Wilbur to inbound off of a full court press yet again. These teams are at each other's throats. Looks like it's going to be Meridian's ball. Just going back-to-back possessions. Really setting the pressure.
A lot of contests from the Trojans early on.
Anacortes' ball yet again.
Interesting to see there the effects of that double teaming that Meridian's trying to pull on Anacortes on their half of the ball. It's leaving men like Garcia, as you just saw there, open down court. But the hustle from the Trojans is still playing to their advantage.
Pass no good, but that pass is caught by Gage Biro running down the court. Excellent hustle. Swinging the ball around, looking for a shot, and the shot goes up just off the backside of the rim. So it's going to be out of bounds. Trojan ball.
What's really key here for the Seahawks is, at this point, just creating offensive opportunities. We know that they have the defensive ability to not only full court press, but full court press well against Meridian. We've seen them doing it thus far pretty well, but offensively, creating opportunities and capitalizing on the opportunities that they do create is going to be vital for the Seahawks, especially down the stretch. Just in the beginning of the game, you know, they've still got some jitters, obviously, so they're warming up out there, but pretty soon it's going to matter more.
After that last fast break. Hunter Jones again.
Relatively easy basket there for Jones, as he's got 4 now early in this game.
Anacortes offense looking for a shot at the high post.
Nice pass there from Miller.
Shot up, no good. Offensive rebound recovered. Here's Biro. Foul is drawn. Sends Biro to the line.
Gage Biro, easily one of the most talented players on the team. He's a dual threat individual. Obviously an offensive threat in the paint, but also a strong defensive presence for Anacortes.
He's one of those players that can go both ends of the court just phenomenally. You see him transition back and forth very well. Never caught on his back feet.
And for a guy of his size especially, to be able to move with the ball that fluidly is more than impressive.
Shot up, no good. Foul is drawn. Looks like it's going to be Anacortes ball, and here is Meridian. Meridian's ball, excuse me.
One thing to note here, folks, early on in the game, we're nearing our halfway point through the first quarter of action. Meridian's already subbed a handful of players in, but the starting five for the Seahawks has remained those 5 seniors. Hasn't changed since the beginning of the game.
Each one of those players giving it their 110% as we see this defense is looking almost unstoppable. But then again, you have plays like that right up the middle that just sting your heart a bit.
Great ball movement there from the Trojans, and a strong finish from Trey Naidu.
There's Trayton Wilbur moving down the court. Shot goes up. No good. Going to be out of bounds on Trojans ball. Both teams have an interesting press. Both teams are pressing almost identically with a 3-2. Just very impressive to see, but it's very hard to pull off. But both teams are doing just incredible drops.
And as if on cue, we finally see some substitutions for the Seahawks. Now you've got the brotherly tandem of the Bureaus, the junior Cam, and of course the senior Gage, who we've talked about plenty already tonight, in for Anacortes. And a couple sophomores out there too. You'll see Jace Friedland and Jacob Hayes amongst the lineup.
Great ball movement by Meridian. Nothing uncontested though, as there's Jacob Hayes. Meridian keeps the ball, but that possession will not go without some hard work from both teams. Calling their play from the baseline. Shot up, no good. It's going to be Anacortes ball.
There you see the defensive nature of the Seahawks style of play really coming out in all its beauty.
There's Jace with a really quick recover. He's got a player behind him, but just cannot be stopped moving up the court. Excellent ball movement by the Seahawks. Creates those shots like that, which is up and good for Cam Biro.
That, my friends, was a heck of a play. Perfect kick out from Miller to give Cam Biro an opportunity to score. And
yeah, Cam Biro just instantly stands his ground on that shot, puts it up perfectly. Could not ask for a better play.
Having a confidence booster like that, especially from long range beyond the arc, early on in this game is going to be really influential for the Seahawks to build, you know, that offensive presence to a level where they're not afraid to take those kind of shots, even if it's just off of a couple passes.
Meridian will have possession. Nothing moving up the court, but there it is. Ball up, contested by Cam Biro. Needs to be a foul drawn.
And it will be on Cam, as now
First personal foul, 13 foul.
Owen Hughes will be at the line for the Trojans.
We have not seen much from Hughes tonight, but cannot say that without having a little bit of chance at the line here.
Looking to finally get to that double-digit mark. Can't do it right now.
Two-man scramble there, and that's going to be out of bounds by Alex Miller. Trojans ball. Trojans remain possession there. Again, Michael said this earlier, but Trojans have almost subbed out their all 5 guys. Just really trying to move things around pretty quickly.
And realistically speaking, as far as who Anacortes is going to play tonight, we have really no say over who Meridian plays. But overall, I think they definitely have a larger squad and a larger pool of substitutions to make. And in the later stages of this game, as we see a foul called, and Trey Naidu will go to the line. In the later stages of this game, the agility deficiency that Anacortes might face may play a role in who has more energy as we wind down in the third and fourth quarters. We'll see if that plays a role at all in this affair. Good shot from Naidu.
Naidu brought it to double digits. Really putting the pressure early on the Seahawks as they have 4 fouls.
Rebounded by Agregard here.
Really getting handsy there. Pressure is there, but ball gets moved up the court. Swinging around, looking for an open shot as always.
Even early on in this game, I'm somewhat surprised to see the urgency from the Seahawks. Not to say it's a bad thing.
Shot clock there.
So the steal from Naidu coming at relatively a perfect time as the shot clock was winding down anyway for the Seahawks.
Here comes Dane Beck from Meridian. We saw him earlier. Again, Meridian swapping out their players quite frequently.
Number 24, Hunter Jones.
Another interesting statistic to note here is that as opposed to the girls' game broadcasted on Saturday night, the size differential between the two teams is relatively small. Very, very similar in terms of who has the biggest gentleman out there on the court. So neither team has too much of an advantage in that realm of play.
That's going to be a foul drawn. Send them to the baseline.
Total foul number 2, TJ Nugra. First personal foul, 13 foul.
A lot of opinions from the crowd after that call.
That was on TJ Nagra. Jacob Hayes fouled again.
Jordan's foul number 11, Wes Kurtz.
This time on Wes Kurtz.
14th foul.
Now the foul counts
Hayes is at the line.
continuing to rise for both teams in this first quarter of play. Nice shot from Hayes there.
You love to see those high arcing free throws.
Even just as a sophomore here for the Seahawks, Jacob Hayes is notably one of the largest players, as he can't get the second one to fall, goes 50% of the line.
Meridian struggling to move the ball up the court. But they do. Pick out, open shot, up and good.
A lot of forgiveness on the rim with that shot. 2-on-1. How can you say no to that, folks? Would have been surprised if they couldn't have capitalized there. Great grounder from Hayes, though.
Gage Beer was incredible. Jacob gets a finger on that. It's going to be on the baseline out.
Binta couldn't keep that one in. As we see Eli Harrinan coming in for the Trojans. Still playing full court press here.
Yeah, really impressive how both teams almost have identical plays on both the offensive and defensive end. Ball up, no good. Foul is drawn there. I believe that to be on Dane Beck.
And you see the size of players like Hayes there playing a serious factor. First took a three, missed and got his own rebound. Then Friedland took a three, missed, and Hayes was there again. Of course, the foul was called, unfortunately, for the Seahawks, but that offensive rebounding presence for the Seahawks can be a serious advantage if it's able to continue throughout the game.
Another foul. We've just been seeing 7 fouls already in the first quarter. There's Ethan Brooks looking to put his own score on the board.
Offensive rebound here for the Trojans. They'll get a second chance opportunity.
Caught by Michael Agagard, up and good. Excellent recovery by Michael Agagard.
The body movement on that layup was like water. It was so smooth. Agagard made that seem effortless, even though he was contested really well by the Trojan defender there.
Here's that really aggressive press, just not letting up. Jace up, no good, but John Fritz with the rebound. Looking to make something happen. Ball up, no good. It will be Meridian's ball to return down the court.
Quite a deep shot Agagard took there, wondering if maybe still had some adrenaline after that layup and wanted to put it into his shot.
You've seen Agagard on a defensive standpoint. His 3rd steal.
There it is again. As the quarter ends there. So a very interesting affair here early on. A relatively close game, just up by 2. The Meridian Trojans are going into the second quarter of play. Seems to be perhaps...
Looks like a foul by Hunter Jones.
So they'll go ahead and put just a decimal of a second on the clock here.
Ball up and good. That is phenomenal from Jace Frydenlund.
The sophomore puts Anacortes up in this first quarter play. You couldn't have made that up, ladies and gentlemen. Great finish for the Seahawks.
What
and a
an
beautiful first quarter.
impressive end of a quarter. Incredible. I believe 0.2 seconds on the clock.
We'll take a short break and return quickly. Don't want to miss anything like that.
Introducing our cheer squad this evening.
Don't go anywhere, folks.
When you buy or donate items to the Kiwanis shop, you are participating in this great local effort. But when you join or volunteer,
remember, an unanswered call is no complaint at all.
Pretzel crust is back at Little Caesars.
Yep, people loved it so much they brought it back. They actually listened to their customers.
We're not Big Pizza, we're Little Caesars. And pretzel crust is back with a cheddar cheese sauce and a soft pretzel crust for just $6.
Pizza, pizza.
Welcoming you back here for some second quarter action. Really incredible first quarter there for both teams.
Incredible. Jace Frydenlund on that end just could not have ended a quarter better than that. Very impressive.
So the full court press from both teams ended up, ironically, still generating a lot of offensive opportunities because with only so many defenders down court, a lot of open looks were allowed for both teams.
Looks like Meridian's going to keep possession here after that.
So we'll see an inbound coming from Hunter Jones here.
Already seen Hunter Jones, pretty impressive, and there's Trayton Wilbur again to knock it out. Better than giving them a basket.
Now up top, it's Nadu. Brooks looking for help. Jones in the corner now. Great defense by the Seahawks there.
There's Jacob Hayes bringing it down the court.
Now Friedland will look inside for Wilbur. He'll go ahead and take that shot. No good on that affair. And it's Nadu with the rebound.
Uncle Ackergaard knocked down after that.
Great save from Von Hagel. Kick from Friedland. Ackergaard's got the open look. Can't get it to fall.
It's like off the head of John Fritz Von Hagel, number 20 for the Seahawks.
Checking in for the Seahawks, number 15, Alec Miller.
Alec Miller to check in.
Nadu finds Brooks. Moving up court now. Jones. Inside, it's Nadu. Finds his own rebound.
Ball thrown over there.
Nadu will look for the jumper, and he's got it. Nails it for two. The lead falls back into the hands of the Trojans.
There's Jacob Hayes off of that impressive pass to John Fritz.
See, once again, you see sort of the negative possibilities of this full court press. It leaves a lot of men open in the Trojans' court territory, and you saw on that account it led to two for Hayes.
Yeah, really impressive movement there. Just getting around that press is very difficult, but when you catch them on your toes, you catch them on your toes. Open shot is a good shot.
Inside, bobbled through the feet of Nadu. And it'll be Seahawk ball here. As we see a handful of substitutions for both teams.
Here
comes the dynamic brotherly duo again.
The Trojans, number 3, Eli Herman. Number 4, Daniel Sharp.
Cam looks to go inside by himself, can't get it.
Number 11,
Quick possession. Jace Frydenlund knocking at the hands out of two people. Shot goes up, no good.
Number 12, Tucker Harrison.
The older Bureau looking for the save, and it looks like Brooks tipped that one rather than Bureau before going out of bounds. So it will be Anacortes ball here on the Meridian side of the court. Bureau just hands it off to Friedland.
Very impressive ball movement.
Inside, it's Miller. And the jump shot will fall for Alec Miller.
There's that high post shot that they've been looking for all game. It's just, you see him there, just absolutely incredible movement there.
On the far side, it's Brooks looking inside. Strong finish from Harrinan.
Here comes that aggressive press again, knocked off the foot. Jace Frydenlund.
And the spin move leads to another two for Harrinan. Back-to-back buckets for the senior.
You love to see that, but you hate to see that.
And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a few buckets from Meridian gives them the lead, and possibly after that account, some psychological advantages. As you see Fritz bobbling that ball, giving it back to the Trojans.
Looked a little rattled there, but there is Gage Bureau, impressive hands, knocking the ball out there. It's going to be an inbound play from number 3, Harrinan.
Looking for something inside. Now they have it. Can't nail the shot.
Alec Miller bobbling the ball, but impressive ball movement still. Shot up, that's got to be a foul.
Wes Kurtz there with the block. No foul called, despite Freddie's predictions. And the save
Ball
can't
out
quite
of the
be made.
gymnasium.
Brought back in there by Tucker Harrison.
Anacortes ball to look into this Trojan press. Yet again. This whole first half, both teams have been very aggressive with their defensive press. Full court from both teams. And it's worked.
Another jump shot from Miller. Can't get it to drop, so it's the Trojans moving up court again. Harrinan looks to drive himself. Can't finish.
Anacortes ball after that possession. Really quick.
Now, at face value, when you look at a guy like Harrinan, who's now getting subbed out after a really good few minutes of play there, you think maybe some of the buckets he's taken are selfish. But as a team member, you've got to think, sometimes you want your players to be selfish, especially when they're that skilled, to just be willing to take those shots and have the confidence to know they're going to make them. A guy like Harrinan is really a vital asset for this Trojan team.
Well, what we've seen for the last, I'd say, 8 possessions is Harrinan getting open, which is really all you need.
And Gage Biro with a 3-point opportunity off the and one. The senior knocks down the layup. We'll see if he can't finish as strong as he started there.
You'd love to see him capitalize on this for a 2-point. There it is, up and good, 3 points. Gage Biro after that very quick offensive possession.
If we had to estimate the amount of lead changes, I'm not sure we'd be able to fit them on our 2 hands, folks, because it's been a back and forth battle throughout the game, which is really what you want to see. It's the most entertaining basketball you can hope to find. Right now, Anacortes holds the lead, but a lot can happen in 3 minutes and 10 seconds, Freddie.
Exactly. You have not seen too many points here, but we have seen such incredible defense from both ends. It's really something you love to see. Aggressive basketball, but not sloppy at all. Both teams have had a working, functional full-court press that you just can't help but watch to see. No matter who's winning, it's always been by a 2-point, no more than 2-point lead, which is, just gives in to show how high energetic, how high action this game has been.
As the buzzer sounds, the players will look to take the court again after some strategic conversations with their coaches. Now for the first time, you'll see Braden Thomas in for the Seahawks. That's number 23, a sophomore, getting some playing time in this second quarter.
Ball thrown out, but Meridian remains possession.
A lot of heat on that ball from Daniel Short, and Harrison couldn't quite reel it in, but Trojans will have the ball nevertheless. Now inside, can't quite finish the reverse layup, but a beautiful attempt there. As Thomas,
it's going to be a charge for Braden Thomas.
As you hear the enthusiasm from the Meridian bench there, they knew that call was coming.
You look at Braden Thomas, he's a rather big guy. I would be pretty scared to see him running down the court like that. He did an amazing job there, but just got a little too aggressive.
And they're going to call that a travel on Daniel Short, so just like that, possession goes back to Anacortes.
Student section from here. It's really good to see everybody out here, especially on a special senior night.
You saw on that last replay, Braden Thomas, who got the charge call. And you have to wonder, is that early game aggression as he now gets a substitution out of the game? Is that early aggression from him a sign of, maybe some nerves? As an underclassman, just
Quite
getting a few minutes of playing time.
Speaking of underclassmen, here is Chase Frydenland, 1-for-1.
Undoubtedly, Frydenland has to be mentioned in the conversation for the most impactful player for the Anacortes lineup thus far. Obviously nailed that incredible 3-pointer at the end of the first quarter, and he's played solid on both ends of the ball since then.
The foul is going to be called on Gage Biro. Sending
Coolest to the line.
Coolest to the line.
Coolest is up the line, shooting 1-1.
It's going to be a 1-and-1 ball. These are always interesting to see. Shot up, no good. Jace Frydenlund with the rebound, looking to kick out, but not there. Too far out for Alec Miller to reach. Knocks it out of bounds. Here comes Ethan Brooks again. We've seen a lot from him tonight in these these quarters have seemed like an eternity, which how fast these teams have been playing.
Harrinan gets the shake but can't finish. Foot tap there from Biro leads to a Meridian possession here. Trojans still down by 3, but definitely in this game, obviously. Nice defense from Biro.
And up, another foul is called.
So their big man, Ethan Brooks, will be at the line now to shoot a couple.
Enthusiastic student section, again, as I said, just trying to get in the head of Ethan Brooks, who just checked in not too long ago.
And whether there's tangible evidence that that played a role in the miss or not, he still missed the ball and misses another one there. So the effect of that student section for Anacortes clearly taking place here.
And Beer to inbound to Jace Frydenlund. He's moving down the court. Finds Michael Agregard. Here's this swing play again that we've seen all night on both ends.
Nice kick from Miller. Biro trying to keep it alive for the Seahawks, but it falls into the hands of Ethan Brooks. Jones has an open lane. Can he finish? Tried to dunk on that affair.
And that is a rim check there. They're going to call that a foul, but...
And I'd say the only play that has outmatched Frydenlund's first quarter finishing three-pointer has to be that attempt at a dunk from Hunter Jones.
You know, you don't see that very often in these high school games, but when it falls in, it's just incredible to watch.
And although he couldn't knock it down, I have to say, props for the bravery on that attempt. I wouldn't even think about doing that in an actual game.
No, Hunter Jones, the sophomore, stands at 6'2". Here he is shooting for 2. Up and good.
Substitution getting ready for the Seahawks here. We'll see the sophomore Hayes coming in for Biro to most likely finish out the quarter and the half. A lot of noise being made by the crowd, but doesn't seem to faze Hunter Jones as he finds himself going 2 for 2 at the line. Frydenlund getting double teamed excessively here. Now Biro will take the jumper, and it falls for Cam Biro.
There's a 3-point lead by the home team, Anacortes. And that's really not much more than we've been seeing tonight. Again, really low scoring on both sides, Meridian and Anacortes. As that shot goes up.
Nadu coming in for the third time's a charm finish. And it's Agregard from the arc.
Just outside. Jacob Hayes almost thrown out of the court.
Now Biro will take the 3, and this time he nails it. And he's excited about that one. Of course, the excitement there is justified. Beautiful shot and finish, as now we see the athletic health trainer coming in to possibly take a look at Andrew Kuljas, who seems to have something occurring in his eye here.
Yeah,
hopefully like nothing too serious.
Looks like it was a hit to the head and face, so he was on the ground for a good 10 seconds. moving off the court here. Trey Wilbur to check in and come in.
Checking in for the Seahawks is number 10, Trey Wilbur.
Subbing out Cam Bureau, who just hit a very impressive shot. Now gets a little breather. 4-point lead for the home team Anacortes Seahawks as they put on a press. Not letting anything by.
And the interception from Wilbur. Now moving up court, it's Agregard.
See, there's that athleticism that you just love to see on these full court presses. Something will come up, an opportunity will come up. And Trayton Wilbur capitalizes on that, sinking that jumper.
See, the immediate impact of the senior Wilbur's substitution into the game on both sides of the court there with the intercepted steal and then, of course, the finish for Anacortes.
Layup. 5 seconds on the clock, looking to make something happen.
And
Jacob Hayes got it.
The save from Harrinan on that affair falls right into the hands of the sophomore Hayes, as Freddie just said. And that'll wrap up the first half of play. The Seahawks able to extend their lead to 6 points now, 32-26, heading into the second half of play. Really interesting matchup we've got here, Freddie.
Michael, that was just very impressive to watch, as there was 3 times where that ball could have gone out. Both Meridian and Anacortes saved it, but Jacob Hayes was able to just grab that, put it up, bring us to a 6-point lead for Anacortes. Very impressive first half. We've seen so much energy out here tonight, all on the court, and it's really impressive. I'm very excited to see what the second half has to offer us. Those nerves cool down a bit, and hopefully some better playing and better execution on plays.
So with that excitement in mind, we'll go ahead and take a break and be back in a few to break down that first half a little more in depth and get on to the next half of play.
Remember, an unanswered call is no complaint at all.
Pretzel crust is back at Little Caesars.
Yep, people loved it so much they brought it back. They actually listened to their customers.
We're not Big Pizza, we're Little Caesars. And pretzel crust is back with a cheddar cheese sauce and a soft pretzel crust for just $6.
Pizza, pizza.
Kennelly Keys Music in Anacortes is your one-stop shop for all your musical needs. As a full-service music retailer, Kennelly Keys offers everything from sales and rentals to music lessons and repairs. Whatever you need, Kennelly Keys Music has you covered. Visit our website at KennellyKeysMusic.com, follow us on Facebook, or stop by the store and speak with our knowledgeable staff. And make sure to check out our new music hall, Kennelly Keys Music, located at 1904 Commercial Avenue in Anacortes. Go a few blocks into Old Town Anacortes and you'll find Dad's Diner. With breakfast and lunch served all day, you'll definitely find the perfect meal. All of their food is prepared fresh each day, from the delicious house salad with salmon to the savory BLT. Dad's Diner, open Tuesday through Sunday, is located on Commercial between 9th and 10th Street. Come on down and grab a bite.
The Action Club is a Kiwanis club for adults with disabilities. Every second Saturday of every month, you can head to the Port of Anacortes web lockers at Seafarers Way and Q Avenue. Once there, you can recycle your computers, monitors, laptops, tablets, Kindles, portable DVD players, e-readers, and televisions. The money we collect during the e-cycle is used in several ways to benefit community service projects.
Thank you, Anacortes.
At the Senior College, we believe that learning should never stop. Anacortes Senior College offers lifelong learning opportunities to adults over 50 in a relaxed atmosphere. No test or homework. ASC is ran by volunteers including retired college professors, scientists, artists, business and medical professionals. Fall, winter, and spring courses are held Tuesdays and Thursdays. For more information and registration forms, go to seniorcollege.org.
You're watching Seahawk Basketball on AHS Live.
Welcome back, folks. Michael Hanrahan alongside Freddie DePaula. What a first half that was.
I could not believe the energy. It was very impressive on both ends. Again, with that just menacing full court press from Meridian and Anacortes. We just saw a lot of steals, a lot of intercepted balls, and a lot of very fast plays. Just can't believe that performance by both Jace Frydenlund and Cam Bureau. Excellent.
You know, before the first half ended, I had it in my mind that I was going to talk about how overall the perimeter play of both teams offensively hadn't been very strong, and then all of a sudden you see Cam Bureau hit that beautiful three-pointer near the end of the quarter to boost the Seahawk lead, and all of a sudden I have to kind of rewrite my ideas for the halftime breakdown because
we saw that just very impressive stand-up shot right outside the line, both by Cam Bureau and Alec Miller, I believe.
Yeah.
They haven't really let too many balls fly from outside that line, but when they do, it's just impressive to watch. High arcing ball, just sinking at the bottom of the net. Cannot ask for a more beautiful shot.
So, just for some context on this game, as we get our little mask adjustments in, I would be lying if I say it doesn't get tiresome, folks, but you know, it's better to be in here than at home.
Exactly.
Anyway, as I was saying, the Meridian Trojans coming into this game sitting at 3-1, 2-1 as a conference record. So a pretty solid season thus far for Meridian. Of course, Anacortes hasn't played as many games just overall. They're coming in 2-0 off of a wild win they took away at Squalicum, where the sophomore Gabe, can't pronounce his last name very well, but he had an amazing finish to put the Seahawks up. And he's actually not playing tonight, interestingly enough. But we'll go ahead and get into some replays as I fail to find the end of my sentence. Anyway, what do you think the game plan is here for the Trojans going into the second half? You know, looking at this deficit, the full court press has worked to an extent, but the Seahawks are still finding a lot of ways to score. Do you think they have to change some stuff up here, Freddie?
So last 2 quarters, we saw both Anacortes and Meridian looking to find that high post shot. Anacortes capitalizing a little bit more off of the press breaks, but Meridian could find some open shots. Most of their shots have been down low in the paint, which I think they're going to try and keep doing, because they are very strong in the paint. They have a lot of height advantages and a lot of more built guys that just are menaces at the basket. We have not seen very many far out shots from both teams, but if I had to guess, Meridian is going to try and keep their strategy at the net. Just really not letting anything up.
Yeah, overall, just by the amount of attempts each team has taken, Anacortes has thrown up a handful of threes. They've only knocked down a few, obviously, but Meridian really hasn't even attempted that many. They're really trying to focus on their paint game, and you know, thus far it's worked fairly well. They're only down by 6, and they're definitely competitive in this game heading into the second half of play. But you've got to wonder if some sort of change has to be made to see if they can't try to push the pace a little more beyond the arc and try to nail some threes, because the difference between a 2-pointer and a 3-pointer, obviously when you think about it, you know, literally, it doesn't seem like 1 point makes that much of a difference, but psychologically and on the scoreboard, you know, if you knock down 2 3-pointers as a Trojan, you're already tying the game, whereas you've got to hit 3 theoretically harder shots down low in the paint, where the Anacortes defenders, these bigs, Gage Bureau, Braden Thomas, Jacob Hayes, these guys are they're gonna push you around a little bit. They're gonna be aggressive, and rightfully so. That's how the game is played. And so the challenge that comes along with the style of play we've seen from the Trojans thus far may lead to an increased lead for the Seahawks, if anything.
Well, I think the biggest thing is, again, as you blatantly stated, the mental game. We've seen a lot of things of rushing plays because of those mental plays. We've seen a lot of those far shots hit by Alec Miller, Cam Bureau, and then a rushed offensive attempt by the opposite team. You know, it really does have an impact. It has an impact on the scoreboard, statistics, and mental games. I think that Anacortes is going to try and keep working the high post, moving the defense around, get them on their toes, and look for an open shot. But I think Meridian is really going to try and get in the paint. That's where all their points have been. It's true. I think that's where their strategy is. They've gotten a couple open shots, but not many with that Anacortes defense. Both teams are, I'm imagining, coming out of the gate with a full court press, as both presses have worked. There have been a couple press breaks on each side, but nothing really to complain about. What's a handful of points opposed to a handful of steals?
Surprisingly, both teams have kept up that full court press throughout this game thus far. It hasn't yet tired any of their players out too much, that is to say. Obviously, it's tiring in and of itself, but not to the point where it's affected their game plans to an unreturnable standpoint. Speaking of the mental game, as you just touched on, Freddie, you've got to think momentum-wise, the Seahawks probably have a bit of an edge going into the second half of play, but not by much. You know, they finished a little better in that second quarter than the Trojans did, but overall, still a very close ball game, seriously contested, and players like Nadeau, Jones, Brooks for the Trojans, you know, they have the opportunity to decide in these next couple quarters whether or not they stay in this game.
Exactly. Shots up and no good from Alec Miller. Ball is swinging around after that impressive rebound by Jacob Hayes. It's Frydenlund dribbling around, looking to make a play. Again, working the high post as we just saw. Jacob Hayes go for another attempt. No more offensive rebounds on that play.
You see Hayes and Wilbur, in particular off of a block there from Hayes, have taken a lot of jump shots inside the key, and most of the time they've been falling, of course, on that last play where Hayes took one, it didn't work. Now a grounder.
Shot up, no good, but two foul shots are here for Gage Biro after that foul.
Foul number 11, Wes Kurtz, third personal foul.
Wes Kurtz.
Zero's at the line, shooting 2.
Anacortes has been fairly productive from the line thus far tonight.
First shot no good, but hopefully with a little senior night magic, get this second one in and out. Here's that full court press again from Anacortes. Looking to trap, but no good there as they swing around to the corner and back up top. You know, they're not really looking at anything low, as I predicted. They're looking more for the high post, and they're looking for the outside corners, which is great to see after this steal from Jace Frydenlund. Up and no good, but defensive foul there. And Jace Frydenlund on the ground again. Causing a jump ball. To be Meridian's ball, but excellent effort from him. Young sophomore has been a very factor in Anacortes' lead tonight.
First personal foul.
And
second team foul.
In contrast, it looks like it's actually going to be Seahawk ball here. As Biro just defers to Frydenlund.
A little confusion there by the refs. One pointed the wrong way, I see. Now this will be Meridian ball, which is a controversial call from the Anacortes Seahawks fans and coaching staff. Here's number 3, Eli Harrinan, to inbound the ball. This is Anacortes press.
Nice grounder from Brooks. Unfortunately, Kurtz can't finish.
Again, working that high post, Jacob Hayes.
There it is again, those jump shots from the key. Hayes can't knock it down once more.
Up and out once again. Looking for that inside shot. No good, but another rebound up and good. That'll be from Nadeau.
Just the tenacity from Nadeau. Puts up a floater, can't finish, and then all of a sudden gets his own offensive rebound and a layup to drop with it. Beautiful play from Nadeau thus far in this quarter. Anacortes still yet to score here. 2.5 minutes in. That ball goes straight through the legs of Alec Miller, unintentionally, of course, by Biro.
Looking like some confusion on the court after Coach Brett Sink says some news to Jacob Hayes to try and get him out. Looks like we're going to have a sub in pretty soon. Ball swinging around. Looking out. No foul is drawn, but Meridian will remain in possession.
You see the senior Agregard coming in now for the Seahawks to replace Cam Biro, and with that substitution, they'll take a timeout. The ball movement from Meridian in particular has looked rather immaculate thus far in this quarter of play. They've been spreading the court really well, and it's only turned into 2 points at this point, but you've got to think if they keep moving the ball the way they have, it's going to lead to some more scoring.
Exactly, and we saw a lot of corner kickouts that just led into that Anacortes defense, which is not good for Meridian, but if they can keep possession there and keep swinging the corner and working that defense, they can get some shot opportunities. There were a few opportunities where they hesitated, and there were a few times where they didn't hesitate, but Anacortes was just right there. And we saw that with Jacob Hayes making a very impressive block. It was just poetry in motion, this Anacortes defense.
Of course, speaking of Jacob Hayes, the strategy that Anacortes was sort of feeling out in that first half, not to sound redundant, but you know, as we've talked about, lining up a handful of jumpers, you know, in the mid-range area, it seems as though Meridian has found a way to counteract that, and these sort of gimmies from the mid-range for the Seahawks are no longer that. In fact, they're much tougher.
What's killing the Seahawks right now are these offensive rebounds by Meridian, which almost ties up the game after that 6-point lead. That early lead was not upheld well, as that is Meridian's ball again, which they get another chance to capitalize on their momentum. And we were talking about momentum earlier. Anacortes obviously had some incredible momentum in that first half, but just can't seem to get anything to fall. Can't seem to grab the ball.
Friedman looks for Agregard.
It's trapped up there. Friedman calling for a screen, it looked like.
Again, that jumper from mid-range can't fall. This time it's Miller. Off by just a tad.
You know, they're putting a lot of faith there into that charge. As you saw Gage Biro line up ready to take the charge. The ref saw it as well.
I thought momentarily that was an and one, Freddie. I thought that was in favor of Hunter Jones. And my jaw dropped just slightly, but of course, we come to find that it was a charge. Yeah. And it'll be Seahawk ball.
Very impressive. Gage Biro, such a very taller gentleman, just getting in front of there and taking the charge like a champ. Here
and
he
now
is up there,
inside it is Gage, but he can't finish. Offensive rebound from Miller, and that's nothing but net.
Another low-scoring second half start, but absolutely beautiful shot as that is out. Behind the do.
So once again, just when Meridian seems to be finding their stride, now they start making some mistakes, and it's Anacortes again with the upper hand.
Anacortes are looking at those mistakes like dinner. They're ready to take that ball, punch it up, and get it to that basket.
Although you can't see my facial reaction at the current moment, the pun just dropped by Freddie drew a serious grin from my face as Friedman goes forward and he'll lay in the basket.
You know, just looking at that, again, talking about momentum, here is Anacortes' momentum. This is their time. They failed to press now, but they are looking for defense. Gage Biro was ready to take another charge, but Ethan Brooks was smart enough to step back and slow down a bit. Capitalizing on that, little layup floater.
Friedman's going to take this three ball. Can't quite get it. Little short. Now Hunter Jones with a fast break.
Number 2.
And the putback from Nadu puts the Trojans within a single bucket from tying this score. Now it's Brooks with the interception.
Ball movement up and good. Incredible there. There is a tie game, folks.
He's had a great game thus far.
Gage Biro does not like that tie and decides to make it. Incredible shot by Biro. Little outside the paint. Just his comfort zone. He's a big man, but he can shoot.
And now, the scoring has just completely turned around in the sense of the rate at which we are seeing scores from both sides of the ball. Kind of a slow start there coming into this second half of play. But really racking up the scoreboard here in these later minutes of the third quarter, both the Trojans and the Seahawks.
Number 42, Ethan Brooks, is really breaking up the Seahawks press. We've seen that a couple times now. It's really impressive to see that guy get a hand on almost all of these balls that the Seahawks are throwing. Shot up and good for Gage Biro.
From that mid-range corner, Biro's been perfect in this third quarter. And the spin move from Harrinan leads to a two-pointer and another tie game.
That was just beautiful. But here is that aggressive Meridian press again. Gage Biro looking for a shot. Here he is for three. In and out, and it is good for Gage Biro, the big man who can shoot. That's a three-pointer for Gage Biro. Incredible. And now he's working on defense, looking to stop Meridian's momentum as they slow down a bit.
Now it's Brooks up top. Harrinan contested well, doesn't matter to Eli Harrinan as he gets another two. Now it's Biro.
Up. And a charge is called. Anacortes not looking too happy with that call, but can't really do anything about it.
See a couple substitutions for the Trojans here. Bringing out Brooks and Kulas, as we see Jones returning as well as Kurz.
Hunter Jones, just a very quick player. It's really nice to watch him break that press up. Harrinan at point guard, looking to make a play to the high post, up and no good, as a rebound from Wilbur will give Anacortes possession here. Very fast up and down the court. No good from Wilbur. Looked like that ball, a little bit of spin on it.
Harrinan slowing it down for the Trojans, taking his time here.
Tipped and good for Gage Biro. Another steal for the senior. Looking to pull up jumper, and it is good. Gage Biro is on fire defensively and offensively.
Freddie,
that's his third turnaround right there.
Freddie, you read my mind there. That's exactly what I was going to say. He has been lights out as Friedland gets the open look and the layup to drop with it.
Here is the Seahawks momentum again as the third quarter is coming to a close. 7 seconds on the clock. It's going to be Meridian's ball after Chase Friedland hit that out. Maybe getting a little too excited after that fast break layup.
We see Owen Hughes coming in for the Trojans, as well as the sophomore Von Hagel and the sophomore Braden Thomas coming in for Anacortes. Back up to a 5-point lead here. The Seahawks stand, I wouldn't say comfortably, but more comfortable than they have been for most of this quarter as it ends here. So just 8 minutes left to play. Wow, what a matchup. Offense really got going in the last 4 minutes for both sides. And I think really the most interesting thing to note is that though they've been scoring in different ways, both teams have found a way to up their scores, and mostly it's been in the paint, as we've seen for the majority of the game. Meridian's been scoring that way, but widening their range are the Seahawks in that third quarter play, particularly the balls from Gage Bureau.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Gage Bureau, who is their center, is bringing those balls outside of the paint and getting into his range. Just outside the paint is where he lives. We've seen him all over that tonight. Now only a 5-point lead from the Seahawks, as it is another low-scoring quarter, but a fast-paced quarter. There has not been one break for either team, and it's really impressive to see these teams full-court press after that. They are working their butts off with the little time that they got. It's very impressive to watch. Both sides of the court, we see Gage Bureau steal up, and it's good. We've seen the same thing with Jace Frydenlund, the sophomore, just really trying to make an appearance this game.
And the Seahawks averaging right around 15 points a quarter right now. The Trojans just a little ways behind that.
Trojans moving to the high post. Nothing there. Ball tipped out from Trayton Wilbur. Excellent hands there.
Having used up half their shot clock time, it sits just below 15 now as Brooks.
Ball up and good. They do. Incredible. Jace Frydenlund back to John Fritz, looking to break up this press and move up the court as fast as they can with what little time they have.
Frydenlund with the open look. Can't finish there, but Wilbur does have the offensive rebound.
It's going to be a foul.
Meridian foul, number 42, Ethan Brooks. Second personal foul, 14 foul.
Dead ball at the baseline. Jace Frydenlund to take him out. Moving it up as Frydenlund points to get out. Look out for Trayton Wilbur at the high post.
And, you know, for the first few minutes of the third quarter, we thought that Meridian had sort of found a way to stop those mid-range jumpers from falling in favor of the Seahawks, but they're back to it with
Here's
Wilbur.
Paint. Nothing there. Tries to kick out, but Anacortes is there to stop it. Trayton Wilbur, taller fellow, really good defensively and offensively as he can reach and get those balls.
Jacob Hayes and Owen Hughes went into a bit of a whirling tango there momentarily, trying to get the ball. And for now, it'll be Anacortes.
It's the fourth jump ball today. It's going to be a holding call on number 12, Tucker Harrison.
Trojans foul number 12, Tucker Harrison.
You've got to think that these fouls that have been coming as of late have to be a result somewhat of sort of an urgency that's being recognized by the Trojans. You know, 5 points isn't a huge deficit. Beautiful feed from Trey Wilbur there.
Trey Wilbur to Jacob Hayes. Just beautiful to see that.
It seems as though I've lost my thought after a wonderful play there from the senior Wilbur. But as I was saying, now that we're winding down in this game, just a little over 6 minutes to play, and the lead has increased to 7, you know, the Trojans have to be wondering, you know, are we going to have enough time to close this out now?
And it's been such a low-scoring game that they really need to kick it into gear and stop messing with it. On defense, they've had breaks like that where they just need to get that defensive rebound. But you saw Trayton Wilbur was there, passed it out to Jacob Hayes, and it was just beautiful to watch that ball go up. Now, Meridian is really going to have to step up defensively as they're making this deficit a little bit more as 7.
And if I'm the Trojans, Freddie, I think at some point you've got to abandon this full court press because, you know, you want to latch onto it because, you know, it's paid dividends for most of the game.
But things like that really shake up the Trojans as that's a 3 for Cam Bureau. Called it. Beautiful shot.
And you could tell the look in his eyes. He knew that was going to fall before he even shot it. beautiful open look for Biro.
And they cannot stop this Seahawks press. The score is getting higher as it is a 10-point lead from the Seahawks.
First double digit of the
They need to
night.
make some changes if they want to keep up with the Anacortes Seahawks. Breaking that press up instantly is John Fritz von Hagel. Majority of sophomores and juniors on this court, but Trayton Wilbur just cannot pass that up.
Not sure Hayes was expecting that because, you know, that's sort of been Wilbur's sweet spot to shoot the ball tonight.
Exactly. We've seen at least 6 points there from Wilbur in that exact same spot. Here's the Seahawks press yet again, causing some confusion to Meridian. Doesn't look Wilbur's ready. Doesn't look like Wilbur was ready for that, but there it is. Looking for Brooks down low. There, offensive rebound from Meridian, what they needed, and that is going to draw a foul.
Trey Nadeau will be finding his way to the line to try and decrease this Seahawk lead that's really sprouted out of nowhere.
Really, yeah.
Into a double-digit deficit in the eyes of Meridian.
It just really started with that momentum from some three-point shots, and that led into some smaller two-point shots, which led into some steals off that break. Just really fun to watch.
And, you know, that's one of the big advantages that you see in basketball in particular, is that when you can score from multiple areas and you're not condensed to a certain part of the court, it's harder for the defense to be able to read, you know, which way you're going to go, where you're going to take a shot from, because with so many realistic options for Anacortes, Meridian is having trouble knowing where to defend, you know, the strongest.
Is now struggling to get down low.
Checking in for the Seahawks, number 22, Michael Anacortes.
That's Meridian's ball. Must have bounced off the foot of Biro.
Looked like he thought it was his for a moment. As we see Agregard coming in for Von Hagel, nearing the end of this game. Obviously, you've got to think Anacortes is in a good place right now, but Meridian is far from counting themselves out.
Wilbur throws it right to Brooks.
Harrinen's going to take it himself.
That is going to be traveling. Here's the press with only 3 Seahawks there.
A little
like
mishap from
Jace
Friedland
was
there.
not ready for that ball.
Now, if I'm Anacortes right now, you have to keep in mind, yes, you're sitting at a 10-point lead. Yes, it's the end of the game, but boy, oh boy, you do not want to get comfortable in this situation.
No, you do not. And not a point has been scored since those turnovers, but just defensively, both Anacortes and Meridian are not letting any easy shots go by. Every shot has been challenged on both ends of the court, which is really impressive to see. The 2 sophomores subbed out.
Biro now the lone non-senior in the lineup for Anacortes. Good interception from Agregard. Can he finish?
Draws the foul, though. That's going to be 2 for Agregard. Let's make it 2 easy buckets, hopefully. Absolutely incredible by Agregard. What a reach.
And interestingly enough, on paper, Agregard is definitely the Seahawks' best shooter, but we haven't seen him as much as we would have liked to from beyond the arc in this game. So hopefully in these last few minutes he can sort of solidify his position as one of the top players on this team and really show the crowd why he deserves to be out there on the court.
There's Agregard breaking up another ball, causing a foul. But I gotta say, this is not really what Anacortes basketball looks like. It's usually from the three-point line and beyond, really. But everything has been inside the paint. You cannot complain about that because there have been some buckets, but it's really strange events tonight.
Seems as though on the court we're seeing a bit of a scoreboard mishap. The lights have gone out. And they're back on just like that. So a small road bump in a really smooth sailing game thus far. That is coming to a close.
Speaking of the scoreboard, Anacortes in the last half really was there for fouls. I believe they ended the second quarter with 8 fouls. Now only at 2. So they've gotten a talk with their coach. They've gotten some cleaner defense. But Meridian has not gotten cleaner defense at 6. Ball goes up, no good. Defensive rebound almost. That is going to be a foul on Agagari. Or no, excuse me. That is going to be a foul on Miller.
15 out Miller. Second personal foul.
Harrinan going to take this inbound. Time now becoming a serious factor in the Meridian Trojans' hopes for coming back. Efficiency is the name of the game right now if you're a Meridian Trojan.
Well, it looks like they're trying to move the ball out, not looking for anything in, which is what I would be doing if I needed to get 10 easy points. Ball up and good, and there's your first easy point.
It seems as though they heard you from up here, Freddie, because as if on cue, they go straight inside, and now an interception
there is
for
another
Meridian.
interception, maybe setting up for another point in the paint, which is not there. Up and out again, that is going to be a foul. I believe either on Miller or Biro. That's his third.
And there you see the offensive rebounds for Meridian. They hadn't been extremely present offensively with the rebounds in the third quarter or in the beginning of this fourth quarter of play, but as we're winding down, they're becoming more aggressive inside, and right now it seems to be playing into their hands.
You know, it looks like Meridian's on the court, maybe calling a timeout. There it is.
So Meridian will go ahead and call a timeout with 3.5 left to play.
It's their third timeout.
We'll take a quick break and come back to finish up this game.
When you buy or donate items to the Kiwanis shop, you are participating in this great local effort. But when you join or volunteer, you are doing much more. See you at the K-Shop.
Bringing you back to Williams Gymnasium here. End of the game is near. 8-point lead the Seahawks are holding on to. Question is, can they keep it? Meridian with possession right now.
As Michael said, the end is nigh for Meridian after this 8-point lead from Anacortes, but it has been so intense. Meridian has not really been able to get a shot up. But here they are. Shot up, no good, but a foul is drawn. They're going to call that on Miller. And that's his fourth foul. He's in foul trouble here.
15 foul.
He has 4 of the 5 Anacortes fouls.
Jones at the line. Crowd noise.
There. You know, they're not subbing out Miller. He has 4 fouls, but Coach Brett Semp has decided not to sub him out.
This close to the end of the game, I think they're just going to let him play it out and see if he can't finish.
It's always something to hear. Impressive start there.
Wilbur takes it himself.
Wilbur. Incredible.
Good decision there from the senior.
And they needed those 2 points to spark some momentum here. And Meridian needed that shot, but it cannot fall. There's Miller to break it up and Cam Biro to capitalize on that ball.
Friedman looks for Wilbur. He's got the open look.
Incredible. Trey Wilbur on fire right now. Sparking that Seahawks defense to get up and aggressive following him.
With under 3 minutes to play in this game, that may have been the dagger for Anacortes.
You know, they called that a block on Gage Biro, but he's tried to step out of it. And now they have tied up fouls within the last minute. You know, you had Miller, who had 4 of the 5. Now Gage has 2 of the 6. Here come the Trojans trying to march down the court, trying to break up this press like they've done this night, but looks very impressive. Here's the defense, breaking up the ball again.
You see both the brothers trying to save that ball.
Cambiro really on the defensive end is looking fantastic. Same with Gage. A little bit of foul trouble for Gage, but nothing to really be concerned about.
And as much as you'd like to congratulate, you know, 1 or 2 of the Seahawks for having a standout performance, really so many of them have played a key role, and they've spread the wealth statistically and psychologically so well.
Gonna call that a block and bring it to the baseline for Jace Frydenlund.
Trojans foul number 42, Ethan Brooks, 4th personal foul, 17 fouls.
And that was Ethan Brooks' 4th foul. He has been their lead scorer, defender, and really everything as they bring Jace Frydenlund to the line, shooting 2, or 1 and 1, excuse me. Here come the Trojans yet again. And looks like there was an issue with the shot clock. They call that timeout on Anacortes.
So players will return to their respective benches to discuss how to finish out this game.
Interesting turn of events there as it's back to a 10-point lead from Anacortes after all of that Trojan effort.
At this point, it's just going to be, you know, from the perspective of Anacortes, can you wrap this up as clean as you can? Don't get into foul trouble. See if you can't, you know, let these seniors go out on a bang on senior night, particularly Miller. You don't want to see him have to come out of the game.
No, that's exactly right. Alec Miller has been really a big defensive contributor and offensive contributor, picking up a lot of balls and dropping a lot of points, but you do not want to see him out, as Anacortes really needs him.
Yeah, just mathematically speaking, if they can play good enough defense to make Meridian use up most of the shot clock on each of their possessions, Meridian won't even have more than 3 opportunities.
Trey Wilbur, good look on that shot, but it is going to give Meridian a running lead on that. It's number 3, Eli Hanneran.
They'll call Heron in on the travel there. So it's back to the Seahawks.
He fell down there, but his feet touched the ground after, calling that a travel. Here's Anacortes, and here's the full court press. That looked like a big foul there, as there are only 1 minute and 39 seconds on the clock and 10 points to recover.
Now we're getting to that time where Meridian knows to be able to get the ball as quick as they can, they're going to need to foul. Hopefully, you know, from at least from their eyes, hopefully Miller will miss. They'll get a rebound, quick score.
Well, here's
and
the
continue.
1 and 1. Miller sinks the first one, and that line. The line is looking restless there. As Alec Miller puts a second one up.
2 for 2, and the lead is back to 12 for Anacortes.
Brooks in foul trouble, looking to make a play, but it is picked up by Cam Biro. Gage Biro calling for the ball. There's another foul on the floor. There's Hunter Jones, who we've seen a lot from tonight. 2 failed dunk attempts, but 2 valiant attempts. Like some fouls. Just trying to put Alec Miller on the line, but he is a hot free throw shooter. I believe that brings him to
Checking into the Seahawks, number 22.
3.
Michael Anacortes. Also checking is number 24, Adrian Garcia.
And, you know, you want to talk about consistency, especially at this point in the game when it's most important. Alec Miller is showing up, now 4 for 4 in the quarter from the line. Beautiful play from Alec Miller down the stretch.
Very impressive there.
As we see now, all 5 of the seniors in for Anacortes as Meridian knocks down.
There's Nagra. He's been pretty quiet, but there's Nagra when they needed him. He was right there, ready for that shot, and that is one of the first Meridian three-point shooters that we've seen today. There has not been many three-point attempts, not many three-point baskets on either side of the court, but I believe that was Meridian's first, which they really need that if they want to come back from this lead.
And you know, some crews during a timeout might want to take a break, but we're in the trenches right now, folks, and there's no way we're letting up from here. We're not leaving you to go anywhere, so we're going to let this timeout play down and finish this game up. Minute 14 on the clock. Anacortes leads by 11. Doubtful that Meridian can come back, but never say never.
Exactly. Minute and 14 on the clock.
When you buy or donate items to the Kiwanis shop, you are participating in this great local effort. But when you join or volunteer, you are doing much more. See you at the K-Shop.
Ironically, it seems as though we did have time to go to a commercial break, as Adrian Garcia looks to get his first points of the game, and he does!
Adrian Garcia getting 2 up there after that incredible pass.
And folks, this is just about the best narrative Anacortes could finish with.
Second three-point attempt, and it is good for him. Wow, that is incredible. And they're grabbing the back of Michael Agregard. I believe they're going to send him to the line, hopefully to get 2 more points on this 1-and-1. Oh, it's a personal. No, shooting 2, so hopefully bringing this to another 12-point lead, which we have seen after on and on. There we are. Bringing it to 11 with 53 seconds on the clock. Meridian really needs to get lucky here.
You know, it's one thing for the team down, in this case it's Meridian, to foul the opposing team in Anacortes and have them go to the line, and you know, in a lot of cases kids would just miss the shots and keep on going, but between Agregard and Miller, they are icing this game through their free throws.
Trayton Wilbur there to go to Alec Miller, respectfully not going for the layup. Now we have 38 seconds on the clock after that ball was stopped, and Michael Agregard is going to be shooting 2 yet again. Up and good for Agregard. Here's his second shot. Up and out, just as we saw last time.
So 1 for 2 on both accounts. But back to that 12-point lead that Freddie had discussed.
Looks like that's going to be a foul.
It'll be Trey Nadeau at the line, who's been quiet this fourth quarter. Arguably one of the Trojans' best players tonight. As the concluding chants from the confident fans really starting to erupt now.
You know, after if he makes this, they're still going to have a 10-point lead. It's going to be missed. 11-point lead with the Seahawks.
He will have one more, though, since it was from the three-point line. He was fouled, so.
Yes, he was.
We'll see what he can do here on the final. Finishes 1 for 3 from the line.
There's Adrian Garcia. Impressive rebound there. Guard Trey Wilbur looking to just hold the ball here as they have 18 seconds. Adrian Garcia moving the ball around. 10 seconds on the clock. Stolen. And jump ball by Nagra. That was very impressive. Or Nadu, excuse me.
You see the effort from Meridian until the final buzzer sounds, which is really what you want to see in a team. So
looks like this is going to be the dagger in the heart.
And that is it, folks, on a senior night in Anacortes, Washington. Your hometown Seahawks have put up a more than impressive performance, scoring 67 and outlasting the Meridian Trojans by 11.
It was a very impressive finish there. As I said, low-scoring game. There wasn't really more than a 4-point lead in the first 3 quarters. Then Anacortes trying to turn that around, started making some good 3-point shots, and just started getting that leaderboard to go higher and higher. There was a little bit less fouls from Anacortes, which brought down the points of Meridian, and just not leaving those open shots for Meridian will just stop all momentum, which Anacortes did and tried to do. It was very impressive.
What you love really more than anything, obviously the Seahawks finished out the night with all 5 seniors on the court, and they were able to get all of them to score. Adrian Garcia got one of those last-minute layups to put himself on the stat line. A beautiful finish for the Seahawks.
Exactly, and you love to see that. Adrian Garcia got that almost wide-open layup, still contested, then got rebound after rebound after rebound in only 30 seconds of playing for him, which is really impressive and good to see from the senior. You know, this is senior night. It's a really emotional moment. You got a lot of people on that court right now, and it's just beautiful to watch.
As you see the fans rushing to the court to congratulate their favorite players. All around, very impressive performance from both teams. We'll take a quick break and then come back to break down some highlights and wrap up this game.
Exactly.
Go a few blocks into Old Town Anacortes and you'll find Dad's Diner. With breakfast and lunch served all day, you'll definitely find the perfect meal. All of their food is prepared fresh each day, from the delicious house salad with salmon to the savory BLT. Dad's Diner, open Tuesday through Sunday, is located on Commercial between 9th and 10th Street. Come on down and grab a bite.
Bringing you back here for the final time, Michael Hanrahan alongside Freddie DePaula to say some final words before we depart.
If you look on that court right now, you can see the Anacortes High School basketball team and the fans all kind of conjugating together. It's really good to see on this senior night. It's really an emotional moment for both teams. Meridian already in the locker room, did not get too much time to talk to any of the Anacortes players, but Anacortes is getting their pictures in, they're getting their celebration in, which is really good to see after an impressive game. A low-scoring game, not a very big lead, because of Meridian's defense and because of Anacortes' very impressive press. Both teams coming out the gate with that press and did not let up on every single play. Meridian or Anacortes were there as we go back and see these replays.
Early on in the game, it was about as back and forth as you can be. Lead changes coming left and right. And then right around midway through the third quarter, you saw the Seahawks really starting to up their game. They went into the second half with a 6-point lead. And then through their outer play, started to knock down some more threes, gain that momentum that we've been talking about all night long. And by the time the fourth quarter came around, they could see the end of the horizon pretty darn clearly,
yes.
And a win was in sight.
It was very good to see as you look at these plays. There was Trayton Wilbur. That was his spot. Yeah. You know, we had some of the bigs like Jacob Hayes getting down in the paint, but Trayton Wilbur, Jace Frydenlund, all of those guys found their groove and got there. It was very impressive to see. Now, we didn't see anything from Connor Barton today, which makes me wonder why he was not playing.
I wish I had an answer for you, Freddie. Unfortunately, I don't. It just seems to be the way the Seahawks lineup went tonight. But nevertheless, regardless of who was in the game, the Seahawks showed up all night long.
Excellent.
Through 32 minutes of play. And with that, it seems as though the time has come to leave you for the night. So we thank you for tuning in for a really impressive showing, a great entertaining matchup. And that's it for us, folks.
It's very good to be back on the court, and it was very good to see all of you today. Thank you for everything, and gotta love this playing.
Good evening and good night.